What's up, you guys? Welcome on this Friday. Boy, do we have a great show for you. We're going to be talking President Biden. And hey, we're going to address the 500-pound gorilla in the room and what Biden's real problem is. It's not what happened in the debate, it's his record.
I knew right now I shouldn't have had them damn tacos. I don't think I'm gonna make it. Ooh, I hope ain't nobody in that bathroom, cause I got to go. Oh my God, it's knocking at the door.
Well, you might wonder, why do African Americans not, or blacks, or Israelites, Hebrews, why do we not address or embrace President Biden? Well, it's because of some of the quotes that he said in the past. Don't take it from me. Just look at some of the videos for yourself.
Do you remember when the president said this?
And if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Well, with another presidential election right around the corner, black people are once again faced with the decision of whether or not they want to stay black for the next 4 years. And for those of you who didn't vote for Biden last time and lost your blackness and were thinking, I can get it back by voting for him this time, unfortunately, the DNC is not going to be able to do that. However, they will be offering to make you Chinese. And when President Biden was asked by reporters why he thought former black people would want to become Chinese, he said, quote, "The food, man. They love the sparrows. No kidding."
Talk about the past to the future, nigga, there he go. No, please, no. Why you gotta take shit so
See, when Donald Trump said during the debate that Joe Biden is taking black jobs and giving them to migrants, he was correct. Although he didn't say it because he cared about us, but he's right. When people say, what do you mean by black jobs? Get out your bougie feelings and deal with the reality. 1/3 of black men have a felony. So there's a lot of jobs they will never qualify for. They are mostly what? Essential workers, warehouse, trucking, security. And a lot of those jobs are going to who? The migrants. So that's what he meant by black jobs. We got to stop being so sensitive and look at the reality of it. I was reading a report the other day. They said the Latinos taking over the construction jobs. They taking them over. And the low industry work, like your gardening, your landscaping, completely taking it over. They're not the enemy. The problem is black people don't get as much opportunity. So then people say, well, you know, white people don't really like brown people like that. That's true. But you know what the difference is? They don't have the burden of accountability with them that they have with us. We built the country. So every time they look at us or deal with us, the bottom line is y'all brought them here and they built y'all into what y'all are. They don't have to say that to the Venezuelans. They don't have to say that to the Colombians. They don't have to say that to the Mexicans. So although they don't like brown, they will much rather deal with them than the black, because with the black, there is a white man's burden that you owe them restitution for 246 years of unpaid labor. Now let's look at what Eric Adams is doing over there in New York. A family of four is getting $1,400 a month. $1,400 a month. Do you know that that's more than what some of the veterans are getting with a child? They're getting more money than veterans who served in the military. Not only that, they're getting free food stamps, free child care, and permanent housing. Although New York City has a black homelessness rate no less than 35%. So you got black people who pay taxes living on the street, and you got migrants who ain't paid a single tax in their life, eating and living better than the black people who built the country. If I was talking to Eric Adams and Brandon Johnson of Chicago, I would ask them something. What is the Democratic Party giving you guys that you're willing to sacrifice your political future to push this migrant agenda? Because I don't see how they get reelected by black folks. I don't see how. And if your city goes to the migrants, you can best believe the migrants ain't electing no black person to mayorship. So you're literally dying on your sword for the Democratic Party. Do you know that New York City has spent $1.5 billion on the migrant crisis so far? It's projected that this year, 2023 was $1.5 billion to take care of the migrants. $1.5 billion. 2024 and 2025, they said it will cost New York City $9 billion. Chicago has spent about $350 million this year on the migrant crisis, and that's expected to quadruple. And you know what was so disrespectful about Chicago with regard to Brandon Johnson? Remember all them schools they shut down in Chicago because they said they couldn't afford to operate them? They opened them up. Not only did they open them up, they renovated them. They renovated them, turned them into apartments for migrants, so you sleep upstairs, go to school downstairs. How is it that you ain't got money for jobs for black people, which is a big reason why you got so much crime? You got all these homeless black people in Chicago, but you can take care of the migrants before you take care of black people, and that's why I'm hoping that Black Chicago organizes.
And while he was running for president, we thought that he was the succession to President Obama, who got a lot of love from the black community. I think Biden had an overreach when he was on the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne, the guy, and he said this: it made everyone cringe.
Population is Indian Americans moving from India. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
Even call centers, which rushed overseas in the hundreds of thousands. How many times you get the call? I'd like to talk to you about your credit card. I'd like to talk to you about your credit card. It's a large, very identifiable Somali community. I might add, if you ever come to the train station with me, you'll notice that I have great relationships with them because there's an awful lot who are driving cabs.
I mean, you got the first sort of mainstream African American who is articulate and bright and clean and a nice-looking guy. I mean, that's a storybook, man. Yeah.
What kind of a chance would a northeastern liberal like Joe Biden stand in the South if you were running in Democratic primaries against Southerners like Mark Warner and John Edwards?
Better than anybody else. And you don't know my state. My state was a slave state. My state is a border state. My state is the 8th largest black population in the country. My state is anything from a northeast liberal state.
Look at what they value and look at their budget and what they're proposing. Romney wants to he said in the first 100 days, he's going to let the big banks once again write their own rules. Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in.
Not only has he come out against integration in the past, he was definitely really loose with his lips concerning, the plight of the inner city. He made a lot of laws that you can hear out of his own mouth. He fashioned himself as a hardliner, a big shot, a tough guy. And right now, a lot of people feel like he's getting his comeuppance in front of the world.
Taken off the street. Increase the penalties. Increase them.
I would put the son of a gun in jail.
Put them to death.
Biden was a leading architect of today's criminal justice system, which contributed to mass incarceration and the police misconduct that protesters are fighting back against today.
You got a gun? You commit a felony? 10 years. We already have it 5 years. Minimum mandatory. Judge can't say, you had it in your pocket, you never intended to use it, we're only going to give you 1 year. Judge has to say 5 years. Well, he wants to make it 10 or 20 or 60. We can work that out.
25,000 new prisons.
That's the secret. That somehow the Republicans tried to make the crime bill tougher. I say, poppycock. They didn't make anything tougher. Found out that this midnight basketball didn't get them together a bunch of jive folks living in their city to do, try to see if they can be Michael Jordan. When they found out, we're keeping schools open. So gangs come off streets instead of out raping my mother, marauding me.
Well, I hope you all learned something from today's show. We're not partisan here. We're not right or left. We tell things the way they are. America needs a news station where you can get news right down the middle. Not one guy's a saint and the other guy's the devil. Tune in, like, share, subscribe. We need your support to grow this news station. Support the businesses that are in the Hill Report, and you all have a great rest of your day.